Turn up then. Yeah.
You know what the going on.
What's going on, my good people? This your boy, Life Up the Entertainer, here to bring you some action between Albany State University and FAMU. This is going to be a different, unique type of battle. Man, look, it's the Seek versus the SWAC. Okay? Now, look, I'm going to say this, before we get into this battle. Okay? And I want to thoroughly put this out here to y'all. Two different sizes, but don't be surprised on the presentation from both. Okay? Don't be surprised on the presentation from both. On my Seek tier list, Albany State was the top band of the Seek last year. And I have high expectations for them this year. And I got a chance to see them in the middle of their season. And they the truth. That band there is the truth. So all I got to say is that let Albany catch them. If this is one of their days, they're gonna have a good day with FAMU. Okay? Don't sleep on Albany. Okay? Now FAMU, on the other hand, FAMU has improved a whole lot. That's one thing I would say about FAMU. FAMU has improved a whole lot from what I seen last year. So I'm excited to see how this looks for them. Okay? So this also goes into my SWAC tier list for the SWAC right now. I'm doing a SWAC tier list, and then I'll be moving on to the Seek. So you will see more Albany stuff later on when I get to the Seek tier list. But for right now, as we grading the SWAC, and so this goes into the FAMU series. I got to grade a couple more, I think, battles if I can find any more, and then I'm going to grade the rest of their field shows. I know and I'm aware that they have a Battle of the Bands coming up, so I'm grading that as well. Giving y'all a heads up. That's my announcement. I will be grading that, so whatever they make at that Battle of the Bands as well will tie into their record too. Okay? Because it's pretty much the same band. Okay? So, with that being said, I'm excited to bring this action to y'all. Okay? There was no zero quarter, but there was halftime footage and fifth quarter footage. So, it's finna get good. It's finna get real good. So, if you enjoy this type of content and you want to be part of this family, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It means so much to me. Now, with that being said, look to the cards next to me so you know we'll be grading for halftime. We're grading entrance, songs, formations, dances, and breakdown. Maximum points they can make all together is 25. With the extra incentive, can round it up to a possible 30. All right? Now, let's discuss something, okay? Albany, this will really tie into Albany. Okay, Albany, they have dancers. Okay, so this will go for them for their dancers. All right, so that's my verdict when it comes down to that. Now, FAMU does not have any dancers. Okay, so they will get marked off for that. They don't have any dancers. All right, but they have to make up for it in the creative department. Just only FAMU, they have to get 10 points in creative. Okay? At least 10 points in creative. And that would help me understand if they really put that work in or not. Now, FAMU is a very creative band regardless. So, getting 10 points should be easy for them. Or at least racking up close to 10 points should be easy for them. Okay? So, if they're able to do that, that shows how much time and work they put into this field show. Okay? But my expectations for halftime. Okay? I'm expecting the entrance to look clean. Songs, if the band is stationary, that the sound clean, doesn't sound muddy. Not while they're marching, but when they're stationary. Formations, I'm expecting step-outs to look right. I'm expecting the pinwheels to look symmetrical. I'm expecting 8 to 5 to look good. I'm expecting them to pick up their legs. Some bands skate, so I'm expecting them to pick up their legs, and I will count that off if they don't. For the dancers, this only goes in for Albany. I'm expecting the dancers to look clean. Their excitement level to look good. They're not second guessing themselves, whatnot. Stunts go well. Alright. Breakdown. I'm expecting at least 3 breakdown features from both bands. And that needs to be clean and it needs to be exciting. Okay? Not just going through the motions. I need them to put energy into the breakdown. Okay? So, that's what it is. Alright? Creativity is just self-explanatory, but you understand what I'm getting at. Now, again, at the end of the day, this is my opinion. So, if you feel like I got it wrong, please comment it below, but don't bash your boy. It's all love here at the end of the day. I love all HBCU bands, and this is why I'm bringing this to y'all, okay? But this is different to see the Seek versus the Swag. Top tier of Albany is top tier in the Seek tier list. And FAMU's top tier in that field show tier list. So, we're going to see. We're going to see. Let's get to it. Albany's first, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Killer Kev for getting the footage, okay?
This is a Killer Kev production.
On the fat fly person, Dr. Rockstar, in bed, Dr. William Roof. I'm proud to present to you the Pride Ball, the beat of Dorsey County, and the Southwest Team. All these things
Very small, but very mighty, ladies and gentlemen. But they seem like they're getting bigger, too. That's what I like to see from them. And everybody got their legs up, too. They ain't skating. Very clean. That sound, bro.
Welcome to the doghouse, where we talk high, get strong, dance beat, and spin. One line, that's how we done in the end, Dr. William Rooks.
Oh, a ribbon,
Apparently
random
can go from
commercial.
0 to
Very good. very smooth sound. Very pretty. Very, very nice. Balanced. Woo! Yeah. Look, like I said, it's a reason why they're the top on my sick tier list, dog. It's a reason. That was beautiful. They did that. And they get all the cradle points. And it got the energy. Yeah. And they got the energy, ladies and gentlemen. Turn up then. Yeah. was beautiful. That was a field show, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. They got them a perfect 30, ladies and gentlemen. A perfect 30. Man, look. Going into this, I didn't know what to expect, but they did it. They did it. I'm not surprised by Albany. They just bring that intensity. It shocks a lot of people how small they are, but how mighty they sound. I swear, it would throw a lot of people out for a loop. But yeah, entrance is a 5, songs are 5, formations 5, dances 5, breakdowns 5, creators 5. They got a perfect 30. You know, that's hard. That's hard to even pull off, but they did that. FAMU's gonna have to bring a lot of creativity and make sure that their formations look good, because Albany came with that heat. Albany came with that heat, bro. They was like, man, look, we finna show out. They showed out. You can even tell by the crowd response how they reacted to it. Okay? You can hear the excitement that they brought. It surprised a lot of people. That's why I'm trying to explain to people. Don't sleep on this band. Do not sleep on this band. Don't do it. This is like I said, they got #1 spot, S tier in the swag, and not the swag, but the C tier list, bruh. They top tier. All right, moving on. Woo, that was nice. That was refreshing to see, dog. I swear, that was refreshing to see. All right, so we're getting into this, man. I would like to remind y'all, as far as this field show is concerning, then you know that they don't have any dancers, so they're gonna have to make up for it in the creative department. They gotta get 10 creative points in order for them to carry in this battle. Okay? They don't have any dancers, so that's the caveat on that. All right. So with that being said, let's get into the action. If y'all made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing. It means so much to me. We're using Paparazzi's video.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Start off with the knife. Superman thing? Okay. That's the shit. Eight to 5 is definitely there. That's good to see. 8 to 5 is there. That's good to see. like everybody got their legs up so far.
It's time now for a toast. Watch closely.
That's nice. And then they're moving it back and forth. That's pretty dope. That was nice.
The consistency of 79 years, 1946 to 2025. The drum majors, piccolos, clarinets, saxophones.
Give us a nice little
trumpets,
scramble.
French horns, tubas, euphoniums, percussion, the flag corps, and of course, the drum majors. This is something Albany State can't dream about. Now, from the pen of legendary FAMU Ranger and Professor Lindsay Sargent, our baton is in the hand of our director, Dr. Shelby R. Chipman. One of the biggest songs for 2025, one word, Luther.
They're pretty sound. Very pretty.
Surround sound.
Very pretty. Like they got the energy too. They definitely got the energy, man. That was nice.
Dismiss.
Alrighty, let's get that a grade. Alrighty. Very entertaining field show from FAMU, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very entertaining field show from FAMU. So let's give it a grade. So entrance, I'm going to give it a 5. Songs, I'm going to give it a 5. Formations, a 5. Dancers, they don't have any dancers, so they get an exemption on that. No points to add it to that. Breakdown, they get a 5. Creativity, they get an 8. Okay? So they were just missing like 2 more things for me to look at. Like I was expecting them to do something close to the end, like something creative at the end. Sometimes they usually diss bands at the end, so I'm surprised they didn't diss Albany. I mean, because the announcer was going in on Albany throughout the majority of the field show. But, you know, hey, it was still good. So with that being said, they end up getting a 28. A 28. Because of that. Not bad at all. Very phenomenal. Very, very, very good. Very, very good field show. One thing I like about it, it was consistent throughout majority of the whole entire field show. Okay? It was a lot to look at, a lot to grade, you know. But one thing that stands out about that is the sound, their consistency. That's one thing I liked about this field show. I think this is one of their strongest as well. And so I enjoyed every bit of that too. Now, if we was to be on a scale, if we were just grading this singularly, they would get a passing grade for me. So FAMU did phenomenal on this field show. Very, very entertaining. Very entertaining. Okay? Alrighty, moving on. If you made it this far in the video, please consider liking and subscribing. Means so much to me. Alrighty. Alrighty, so we're moving on to 5th quarter, okay? Alrighty, so let me give that current standings, okay? So current standings right now as we speak in halftime. Albany State is up by 2 points, count them 2 points, okay? So it's just 2-point difference right now, okay? Doesn't mean that they're going to skate with a win, but I feel like Albany had the stronger field show than FAMU, okay? Now, don't bash your boy in the comment section. How could you? You know, I was like, look, man, FAMU don't have any dancers. So, I mean, look, some people care about dances. So, you know, it's preference when it comes down to that. And yes, they did toast, you know, that was pretty dope, and they got a lot of points for that. But for me personally, I feel like Albany, the small mighty band, is a little bit over FAMU right now. Okay? That's just me though. That's just me though. Alright? But yeah, Albany's up by 2. Alright? So we're getting into fifth quarter, okay? We in fifth quarter territory. I want to explain something to y'all. Okay? Fifth quarter, it can make or break a band. Okay? Now, this is kind of somewhat in the beginning, middle of the season, okay? So, I'm expecting a lot of things from both of these bands, okay? The sound is there for both bands, so I'm expecting a lot, okay? Now, FAMU has been improving. Albany is up there, okay? It's the reason why they got those emojis by their name. Albany is the truth. Don't sleep on them. Like, they will blow you out your own stadium, okay? And they got a book. And they got a book. So don't sleep on them, man. Look, I would love to see Albany go against Jackson. That's how much confidence I got in that band. Alright? Now, with FAMU, all I'm expecting them is to, you know, bring that intensity, come with it. Don't underestimate Albany. Alright? Don't underestimate them. Alright? That's my opinion going into this battle. I don't know what to expect, but it's going to get good. It's going to get real interesting when we look into this, okay? Now, before we go into that scale and everything, I would like to offer an invitation to become part of my membership program, our Great Battles from the 90s on up. I go into detail in the video above, so please click on that above if you're interested. It's only $2 a month. With that, you get perks, you get set emojis, and you get to have particular polls strictly for you, okay? And that kind of affects how this channel goes. So this is really on y'all, okay, if y'all want to be a part of that or not. But I really appreciate y'all. And if y'all just new and y'all just like the channel, just a simple like and subscribe if you're new. And if you've been rocking with your boy, a like goes a long way. It boosts the algorithm and get to the right people, okay? Now, I also want to say if you want to donate to the channel, you can. All you have to do is hit that thank you tab below, okay? You know, you can, whatever you want to do, that's fine. But all proceeds will go into me affording YouTube Premium, okay? Sometimes when I'm reacting, I have random commercials pop up. So with that, you know, that kind of prevents that from happening all the time. You know, that just interrupts the reaction on the video, so we don't have to worry about that no more. So you kind of get what I'm getting at. And also, eventually, I will be working on shirts. And those shirts will be tied into y'all schools, etc. So I got some good ideas, man. Just know your boy got some good ideas. So just bear with your boy. We're going to work it out. All right? So with that being said, we're getting into the fifth quarter scale. Please look to the cards next to me so you know what we're grading. We're grading sound selection, power, articulation, arrangement, overall cleanness. Maximum points they can make all together is 50. All right? A lot of the stuff is self-explanatory. I'm not grading everything by section. I'm just grading based off of sound of what's being presented to me, okay? I can rewind and listen to it over and over again, but that's going to make the video longer. So I'm not finna sit here and do that. But what I will tell you is that I'm giving my strong, honest opinion on this take of the battle, okay? So, you know, this helps me, you know, determine who is stronger in certain categories, you know, etc. But, you know, basically, it's a well-rounded sound. That's what I'm looking for. Did they have enough power? Did they have enough art? You know, was they attacking together? You know, were the songs divine? You know, was the arrangement complicated? Were they clean? You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm getting at. All right? So, that's simple to the point for everybody can understand. You know, I'm not grading it off of rounds. I don't do that. Because what happens is, what you're going to do when you want a decisive win. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes my point system, I can't get a decisive win. But at least I can say who has a competitive edge, or I can give accolades for which band. You get what I'm getting at? So again, at the end of the day, it's my opinion. I'm human, so if I miss something, I miss something. But there's no favoritism, okay? There's no favoritism at all. All right? So with that being said, let's get into the action. Shout out to Killer Kev for getting this footage.
Killer Kev production.
Albany State's gonna start off. Whew. Yo. Yes, indeed. That's it right there, fam. Ooh, that was nice. One thing I would say, if I was to give it a minor critique, there was some minor attacking issues, but it wasn't bad to the point when I had to dock off. Okay? It was just some minor hits in there, but it wasn't bad. Okay? It was more so in the lower brass. Alright? Moving on. Very clean. Alrighty. Not bad at all. Not bad at all, man. The only time they struggled with the runs was close to the end, but they was kicking ass throughout the whole entire arrangement. So yes, that was a very complicated arrangement for that band. Very complicated. They were doing good the whole entire time. It just got close to the end and kind of struggled a little bit, but that was still good. I'll take that. It'd be different if they was messing up throughout majority of that arrangement. They was kicking ass that whole majority of that arrangement. So I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all. So yes, they get a perfect on that one. Okay? Just need to work on a small ending, but that was it. That was it. Moving on.
Whoa.
What's that?
I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
Guys, need it.
Oh man, very complicated piece for them. Very complicated piece for them. So not bad. It just needs to be sprucing up in certain areas. Need to be sprucing up. But song selections 10, powers 10, articulation I'm gonna give them a 9, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm gonna give them a 9. Okay, so they got them a 48 on that one. All right, not bad, not bad. It just needs to be tightened up in certain areas. Okay, needs to be tightened up in certain areas. Moving on. I hear y'all put clothes. Oh man, fam, you one Super Saiyan in this thing, fam. That was nice. That was nice from FAMU. I ain't even gonna lie to you on that one, man. That was nice. Couldn't spot anything wrong with that one. Couldn't spot anything wrong with that one. It was very nice. It was very nice. I enjoyed that from them. Okay, especially with the piccolos, man. When you can make your piccolos stick out like that, that's a beautiful thing. In your arrangement, that was nice. Very complicated piece too. Very, very complicated piece. So as we speak right now, it's a tie in this battle fully. Okay, that's including with halftime. Okay, so right now that kind of helped them out a whole lot. Moving on. Not bad, Albany. Not bad, Albany. I gotta get that almost a perfect. Almost a perfect. That trombone part in the beginning, close to the middle, was the trombones, man. I feel like it could be a tad bit tighter. There was other parts in there I feel like it can be a little bit better. Just a little bit. All right, but almost a perfect. Almost a perfect on that one. Okay. Whew, that was nice. It was nice. I just felt like it would just need to just spruce up on it just a little bit more. Alrighty. Moving on. Oh, they finna turn up. Okay. Okay. Okay, fam, yeah. There went Super Saiyan Blue God in this thing, man. I hear y'all, fam. Yeah. Not bad at all, man. Not bad at all, man. Whew. That was nice. That was nice, man. Whew. That was nice. That was a good arrangement. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that from them. Okay, that was nice. All right, as we speak now, it's a 1 point difference now. FAMU's up by 1 point. All right, let's get going. Not bad. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. Alright, let's give it a grade. So, song selection, I'm going to give them a 9. Powers, 10. Articulations, 10. Arrangements, 10. Cleanness, I'm going to give them a 9. Alright, we got them a 48 on that one. So, reason why I took off in song selections a 9, I was expecting a hip-hop tune back. A hip-hop power tune, at least, because that's what FAMU gave us. So I was kind of expecting that from Albany. I'm not even going to lie to you. As far as the cleanness is concerned, there was some parts in the beginning that was kind of struggling with. So, I just took off in that. But not bad. Not bad. They just I feel like they could have gave me a better selection. Moving on. Okay, FAMU. They were They were ultra instinct in this thing, bruh. Woo, FAMU ain't missed, bruh. FAMU ain't missed for me, bruh. Not this battle. Nah, FAMU ain't missed for me at all, bruh. That was nice. That was nice right there. Good arrangement. Chef Kiss. Love that arrangement. I definitely enjoyed that. Now, If we was to do a MUT comparison, which arrangement would I prefer, Southerns or FAMUs? I'll still pick Southerns over FAMUs, but it's still good. It's still a good ass arrangement though. Alrighty, not bad. Moving on. Alrighty, let's get that a grade. Sound selections 10, powers 10, articulations 10, arrangements 10, cleanness, I'm gonna give them an 8. Alright. Was a good response back. You know, it was interesting to see them respond back with it. One thing I would say what hurt them is that there was some muddy parts in there. Definitely was some muddy parts in there, and there was some people who were missing. You know, you could tell that there was some people also who was not getting their phrases out as well. But, you know, they got a 48 on that one. Not bad. They just need to sprucing up on that. You know, now again, reminder, this is kind of like the beginning, middle of the year. So this is not the middle, but it's like the beginning, middle. Okay? Now, I seen Albany at their peak. So they getting there. They just not there yet. They still got to get their book right. Moving on. get that grade. It started dying on me in the middle and at close to the end. But sound selections 10, powers 10, articulations 9, arrangements 10, cleanness I'm gonna give them a 9. They got them a 48 on that one. They was doing good for the majority, but when we got close to that segue into close to the end, that's when they started messing up. Especially, it was kind of like more so the upper lower brass on that, and then the high brass close to the end. Especially with that ending, that could have been way cleaner. Okay, but you know, decent song. Moving on. My family's gonna close this out. I think this is their exit song. Alrighty, not bad. That's the exit song. We're not gonna grade that because that's the alma mater or something like that. You know, it's like an exit song, but you know. But moving on, not bad at all, man. Not bad at all. Okay, so we want to know who won this battle. All right, give you some time. Let me calculate this up, and we're gonna get that verdict. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. So, this is my verdict, ladies and gentlemen. This is my verdict. So, let's get the rundown too. Alright. So, in halftime, I had Albany up by 2 points. 2 points, I had Albany up by 2 points. Now, when we get to fifth quarter, FAMU closed the distance on Albany. Okay? And it became a 3-point difference for FAMU. FAMU ended up beating Albany. Okay? In fifth quarter. Okay? It was a significant shift, in the battle. Okay? One thing I would say, about this battle going into it, very interesting, entertaining battle from both bands. Definitely was very entertaining. But what helped FAMU the most was them being consistent. Like those four songs, all those four songs that they played in film were clean for the majority. Like I couldn't really spot anything out with them. Okay, now they only missed close on their last song. Now for Albany in the fifth, they had a hard time trying to get it going after that second song. They kept missing after that. I think that a lot of that too is that they were playing more complicated pieces. I think that's what hurt them as well, is that they were playing complicated pieces, trying to compete with that pen. Now they do got a good pen, but they didn't deliver on the execution, if that makes sense. All right, but very good, entertaining battle from both bands. Now I got to give Albany this. They did, for me personally, had a stronger field show than FAMU. All right. Now, if we're going to give accolades, I will say that Albany did have the stronger halftime than FAMU, if I want to be honest with you. But overall battle, FAMU beat them. Okay? So, that's my verdict, ladies and gentlemen. It's all love here at the end of the day. Shout out your school down below. It's nothing but love here. Okay? Now, one thing I would say before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my channel member. Thank you so much for being part of this family. It means so much to me that you're rocking with your boy for this long. Thank you so much. Okay? So, I'm going to get up out of here, man. And like I tell you always, deuces.